going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hollywood Interviews. We're joined by Fleming Moore today. He's a composer, an actor, and just an awesome dude, as you can tell by the Bob Dylan poster right behind him. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. How are y'all?
Not too bad.
Fantastic.
All right. So how did you get started in this wacky world of film, television, and music?
Well, it happened. I got fired from a job and I was sitting around. I was married at the time, and my ex-wife told me that I needed to get out of the house. So I was doing music stuff and online all the time. And I saw an ad in the paper about background for Mr. Mercedes. And so I said, well, hell, that sounds like a lot of sitting around. I can get a lot of screen time in and get paid to do nothing. And so I did that. And I guess I'm fortunate, or I had the misfortune of looking like Bruce Dern. And so I got picked to be Bruce Dern's photo double. And I was already in love with being on set and just the machinery behind it, man. And being a singer-songwriter, you're kind of like on an island by yourself, and you're always competing for the same gigs with the same, even though some of them you're friends with. It's more cutthroat than being on set where people are working. And it looked like to me that 90% of them were happy, and they were all working towards a goal. And it seems like when I'm on set, people understand that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And that cliche that there are no small roles is really true when you're working with the people I've been working with. So I felt, and I got the bug, and I just, from there, when, they give you a trailer when you're a photo double, and it's kind of like a Norwegian prison cell, but it's not, but still it was kind of cool, and one of the drivers told me, he goes, hey man, you got a certain look that you ought to try to ride this thing out. And so I auditioned for a role in this small micro budget thing. It was a live audition called Little Cooper, and I really just did it for the experience of auditioning, not thinking I would ever get a part on it. But I got a day player part. And so I've been building my resume for the last 3 years,
Excellent. Absolutely. That's a fantastic story, and kind of where it falls in line with Dustin and myself. We for spoiler alert for everyone, we all live in the Charleston area, and there's a lot going on. You mentioned Mr. Mercedes, so my question kind of rolls into that. So what was your time like actually filming the scenes as Bruce Dern's photo double, and do you have any maybe funny stories from your time on that show?
Well, actually, they brought me on 3 times, but they only filmed me 1 time in front of a green screen. And the first time they brought me in, and I guess they were testing the makeup and stuff. And so I got paid for them to put makeup on me, and they drove me over to set so that Jack Bender, I guess, could take a look at me, but then they drove me right back, and I was kind of confused and a little disappointed because I thought I was going. And then the next time they brought me on set, and they were doing a scene in the backyard. And when your background, your deal is you want to stay out of everybody's way and not make eye contact with the principals, and just so anyway, they set me up in Gleason's kitchen that you see on Mr. Mercedes on set. It was kind of surreal. I was sitting in the kitchen and kind of in the dark, and here all of a sudden burst through the door. We're in this little house on Sanssouci Street down in Charleston. Jack Bender and Brandon Gleason, this dude from Harry Potter, and
yeah,
I'm sitting here like trying not to, at the kitchen table. I'm dressed in the same clothes Bruce Dern's supposed to be in. And they're in a heavy conversation deciding how they're going to do this shot. And they were pretty intense. So I was just standing over there, and they were talking, and all of a sudden Jack Bender puts his hand on my shoulder, gets ready to say something to me, but gets pulled back over by Brandon. And about 20 seconds later, after he's still talking to him, he turns around and goes, "You're not Bruce Dern." It stuck on me that I wasn't Bruce Dern. And I said, no, I'm just trying to stay out of the way. And of course, the assistant director goes, "You're doing a damn good job of that." And Jack Bender said, he goes, "You're the best fucking photo double I've ever seen." And from there on out, every time, I do something in the courtroom, Brandon Gleason was always laughing about it. But what was really funny is Holland Taylor, who plays the mother on 2.5 Men.
Mm-hmm.
She came in thinking that I was Bruce Dern, and she kind of goes, "Hi, I'm Holland," and hands me her hand, and I grabbed it and said, "Hi, I'm Fleming." And
That's great.
So anyway, they got a big hoot over it. And they remember me, and I remember them, and it was like, that was pretty wild.
Thank you for sharing that with us. That's a freaking fantastic couple stories. That's like awesome. What we all dream as background artists of experiencing on the set. That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's it's good. It's a little. I get a little affirmations like that every once in a while. Like, it made me feel like, at that point that, hey, this is fun. That might could turn into something. I keep hoping that. Because when I did the wardrobe thing, Jack Bender has a daughter, Hannah, who's a costume designer.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked for a long time, and she's going like, "Yeah, my dad, when he saw you, he said that, darn, that he could have hired me, because at the time, Mr. Dern, unfortunately, wasn't very ambulatory and couldn't do some of the things they wanted him to do." Yeah. But I think I saw him in Goliath, and thankfully he's getting around now.
Good.
Yeah, it's being a background extra. That's how we all got our starts. And it's not wanting to get into people's way. It's because sets can be insane with the amount of people working on set. So I know you were with us. You were working on the Righteous Gemstone as a background extra. What was you got any funny stories about the Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, well, I being in the choir the first season. Yeah, I keep losing track. It's been so long since we started that with COVID. But I got to be in the choir when in that scene where Baby Billy and Judy are tap dancing. And that was just amazing. That was fun.
Oh.
But this year, I hope this won't come out before Sunday, so I guess it won't matter.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, I was in a scene this year with it's the only time I did background this year as assisted living resident, and they had a bunch of old people, us background people. There were about like 9 of us in this old folks home. And poor old Baby Billy's trying to sell his elixir, doing the spill to us. And most people are falling asleep and not doing, paying them any attention. And they had a nurse feeding me baby food. And it just, for some reason, that cracked Walton Goggins up. I mean, ever busted out twice, he couldn't do his lines, and finally he got it the third time, and they did a close-up of her feeding me and asked me if I could burp at the end, and I gave him my best burp. So I'm crossing my fingers it didn't hit the editing floor, but David Gordon Green gave me a fist bump afterwards, so it was like kind of cool.
That's real cool.
That's awesome. Oh wow. This episode will come out next week, so that's definitely
it'll be out Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
So I think every background actor's dream is that they'll get a line and get SAG eligible. That's mine, and that's why that's my goal for this year is get SAG eligible. But the way I look at it, I've got to burp maybe next time they'll give me a word.
Absolutely. I was just about to say, so you've made some noise. Now you just got to turn it into words. And
Yeah, probably
that's
next year they'll let me fart or something, you know?
oh my gosh. I'd settle for a farting scene any day of the week. If they're like, hey, I need you to eat
No
like
kidding.
1,000 beans beforehand, I'd be like, yes, sir. Whatever it takes to fart near Danny McBride or something, that would be great. Oh man. Speaking of season 3, so it has been greenlit, and we've had a lot of folks on the show, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera, sort of tell us, hey, it's going to be a fantastic next season. For the folks that are watching this and were wanting to be in background, sort of tell us kind of your experience with Tana, and kind of how is there anything that you do to set yourself apart when you're submitting for these auditions for background or for anything?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't submit. She texts me.
There it is. I like it.
And but the first year I did submit, and what my oh hey, you can come in here. Sorry.
We love special guests.
Yeah, a special guest,
It's that makeup artist again.
Karen Flieger, HUMA, hashtag
Karen with a P.
with a P. So anyway, what I would do is I would especially dress the part, you know, the stuff you need to do. Like if they're looking for a janitor, put on some overalls and look like a janitor, you know, and you know, and when you show up on set, pay attention to that color palette, man, because I think a lot of this year with that eating at the old folks home, I think it had more to do with the color shirt I had on than it did with the way I looked or what I was doing. I think, you know, because I matched the shirt right up with the color palette. It was a ox blood color that you'll see a lot on that set. In fact, I was wearing an ox blood coat the first day I was on set on Righteous Gemstones, and that's why they plucked me out of the audience. He goes, hey, I don't know, there's this guy named Flash from Wilmington. I remember him. He gave me the finger. Hey, come over here and put you in a spot, you know, where you can be seen.
That's actually a really great suggestion, Dustin. Have you ever thought of that? I actually had never thought of, but it makes a lot of sense because they tell you what they're casting for. I've never thought of like dressing the part ahead of time. Have you?
Oh yeah. No, so, well, when you get the part, Tanya or whoever will, they email you the color palettes. Most of the time from stuff I've worked on, they usually want you to dress yourself and bring your own clothing. So they'll actually email you the color palettes of the scenes you're going to be in. And yeah, just match up the best you can. And then when you get to set, you have your stuff on, and the director, they'll take pictures of you and they'll send those pictures to the director. And if that's what they're looking for, they put you in the scene. If that's not what they're looking for, then they have wardrobe there, so they'll put you in something. But yeah, no, I definitely went off the color palettes for sure.
I did after I got hired, but beforehand, dressing for submitting pictures is a brilliant idea. I didn't even think about that before. So
you're talking, okay, so you're talking about when like Tanya sends out the casting notices. I got you. No.
Yeah, that too, but you don't know the color palette then. But
yeah,
so beforehand, what you do is she wanted something for eyes of Tammy Faye. So I did my best evangelical pose for her, you know, and I got picked. That was back in the day, but you know.
See, go ahead.
Yeah, and just like her, you know, grab a broom, you know, if you're gonna be a janitor, because they want what you look like now from here, and send them a full body shot of what you could be, you know.
Yeah, see, I never thought about that. Yeah, because when they send out the casting notices, like me, I don't anymore because she has it on file. But my first time, I just I had a white dress shirt on and black pants. And I just took a picture of from here up and then the full body shot. But I never thought about
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
Fleming.
that's
smart.
that's great advice. Because you do know the part ahead of time. Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I will send you guys some of the pictures I've sent here. Okay, I'll DM you on Instagram and show you some. I'll show you the picture I sent her when she asked me to send her a picture. She wanted me to be Bruce Stern's double.
Awesome.
So I still have that one in my phone, man. I'll send that stuff to you guys.
We'd love to see it. Absolutely.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah, okay. So I have a question. Okay, so you do music and acting. So now that you've gotten the acting bug, which one do you is there one you enjoy more than the other?
Acting, simply because, and my musician friends, I apologize, you probably aren't watching this because you're busy looking at yourself in the mirror, but acting, because you get to work in an ensemble. Even in a band, there's always the lead guitar player, and it's just a lot more ego in the music business. And it might be because I'm not at the level where it might be that competitive, but I think because, like, Dustin, you and I aren't going to go after the same role.
No, we're
Right.
not.
you and I, not, I'm too old. He might play a younger version of me or an older version of him, but and that's not the same role. But with music, there's X amount of venues to play. There's X plus 500 people going for those same venues. So it's kind of cutthroat sometimes. Like I will go in, I'm gonna digress here. I'll go into a venue with a cold call, get the gig, give them my rate, and blow it up as much as I can. And then, so I quit putting stuff on Facebook so much, unless it's a standard place, because other people come in behind me and then cut my rate. And
Yeah,
I'm like, gee, I doing all the footwork, and it's like, so I'm like, that's why I'm doing house concerts, ticketed events that I promote, and I get paid that way, because and people, like, you go to, y'all mentioned Frothy Beard, you go there, people are not there to listen to music. They like having live music, but it's a live jukebox, and I got people playing football above my head. I have something to say in my music, so I kind of pursued, that's the other angle. I said, I'm getting these films, I meet these directors, I show them, my catalog, and, get something slipped in.
Awesome. Piggyback off that real quick. Yeah, speaking of, we're not going to get the same roles. That's something I've noticed. I have a unique look, so I will actually get emails from casting directors just like automatically giving me a part. Whereas Noah, no offense, you have a very average man look.
Yes, I get the average man.
No, look at that hair. Oh my God.
Right.
So yeah, it's but it is competitive. It is acting is definitely one of, if not the most competitive industries out there for sure. Now if you look like old school Jonah Hill, or somebody unique looking, then yeah, it's a little easier. But yeah, I definitely get that.
Believe it or not, when I used to teach high school in the state of South Carolina, I was a secondary mathematics teacher, and these girls would go, "Mr. Moore, you know who you look like?" And I said, "No." You go, "You know the guy in the wedding planner?" And I said, "No, I never seen the wedding planning." Turns out, man, people said I look like Matthew McConaughey when I was.
Honestly, you do.
And
you sound like him as well.
When I had hair, I used to get that, right. And when I was in my late 30s and 40s, and so anyway, finally some girl came up to me at a New Year's Eve party. She must have been 18, and I was 50 at the time. 50 something. And she goes, you know what you remind me of? Is an old Matthew McConaughey.
I do see it. I do see it. Yeah, I see
I
it.
can hear it too.
So
The voice, the cadence of the voice is very Matthew McConaughey as well.
But you know what? That's not the case. I was here before he was, right?
That's right.
That's right.
So
Matthew-
he's a Matthew McConaughey. He's a younger Fleming Moore.
That's exactly what it is. Absolutely. He's getting all his swag from you.
Exactly, because I'm just being me, you know.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. And that's actually something that really attracted me to have you on the show, is you've got this great sense of who you are. And I believe that really carries you a long way in both businesses, in the music and the movie business. And that knowing who you are and what you have to offer, and that confidence really shows in everyone around you. And that's the greatest of all time have had that. So that's something that I could definitely tell most folks to do, is like, just believe that you're awesome as fuck. And then once you believe you are, the rest of the world will believe it too.
Well said. Yeah, well said. Always be you.
My next question for you, Fleming, is, since you are a South Carolina boy in Charleston, what do you think it is about Charleston that really has drawn Danny McBride, Rough House, OBX, all of these shows to the Charleston area to film here?
Because you have the ocean and you can go from urban to coast real quick. And I imagine the tax incentives for Rough House Pictures is something that keeps them here. And I hope South Carolina will wise up, because Georgia's kicking our ass. You know,
We say that all the time. Well said. Yes. If I can't preach that enough. Absolutely.
Yeah.
but I'm grateful that Rough House Pictures is here. You know, they impact the economy, and let's be honest, you know, a lot of these background actors need to get out of the house. I did at the time, but it almost reminded me being on background and holding is like, don't do that, honey. The being on background and holding is a lot like study hall when I was teaching school on a Friday. And there's some kids that just need to be able to get out of the house, you know, and I think it's really helpful. It's a good thing he's doing it. And its economic impact is making is wonderful.
Well said.
I never thought about, holding is kind of like study hall. It's just like 50 people chilling at tables, like just bullshitting about film. And it's true. That's awesome.
So we had James Dumont on the show. Plays Chad.
Man.
Fantastic. He does a lot of what's called on-camera workouts.
I'm signed up for his Core One. That's exactly what I need. I need to help with my self-tapes, dude. It's just like recording. There's something I'm doing wrong that I got to figure out.
But I also think once you get into that mode, Fleming, because you have the past as a teacher, that might be something you could also help. You already helped us out, so maybe that's something in the future you could also do to once you get that knowledge from James. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I want to. Yeah, definitely do that. I need to and get into that and work on stuff. I promised my agent I would do that, so I better stick to my word.
You rock. You don't need anything.
There you go. See?
Nothing but confidence, buddy. You rock.
I'm feigning humility here.
He's trying to, it's a sympathy. It's a sympathy thing.
Yeah, we're none of that here. We're all confident as fuck. And you're the only one out of all of us that's got
Yeah,
agent,
right.
so.
No applause, just throw money.
That's right.
All right, well, what has been so far, what has been one of your favorite roles or things you've done?
I like playing a Mr. Cooper, telling those little girls that a horse was going to get taken to slaughter, and they were going to chop it up into tiny little pieces and feed them to them like hamburger.
Love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's on my reel. If you go on IMDb, I tell you the most fun I had though during the lockdown, I shot a web series called The Podunks.
I was hoping you'd mention that.
And so the town was shut down. And I learned a lot about it was a learning process, and it was fun. Being on set with Jack Bender and watching him work and all the camera angles and stuff he was doing. So I had fun with it, but I'm getting ready to play a guy with cerebral palsy. And,
okay.
Short. That's not on my IMDb yet, but I actually landed a really good role that's going to be a feature.
Based on true story, you're playing the character.
Yeah, based on a true story, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to go rehearse this Saturday up in North Carolina, and we're shooting it at the end of the month. And if everything goes accordingly, the feature will come around and they'll use me for that as well. That's the plan anyway.
Do your buddy impersonation. Okay.
But no, actually,
y'all can edit some of this out, I'm sure, right?
I'm sorry.
It all stays in.
I'm a hair and makeup artist / edit director.
It all stays in. We don't edit.
Okay,
it's all good.
Well, come here, Karen.
Come on, bring her on.
Karen, if you're gonna talk, we gotta see your face.
She's like,
all right, she'll be here in a minute.
All right, good.
She's fine. No, actually, I met her on set, and she's become my best friend.
Special effects. We got special effects here. Hi guys, I can't see.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, I met Fleming. I did his hair and makeup for Holly Hill, which is now AKA Oak on the outside, and he was a homeless guy. And that's how we met. And it's been an epic journey of watching this man grow and proceed and excel in every single way, from being a musician to an actor. And I'm glad you've got him on here.
Damn, that melts my heart, Karen. That's actually such a sweet story. See, of course people want to hear that. Of course people want to
really,
that.
right?
Right. She's going to talk to a guy that's homeless.
No, that's a whole nother podcast. That's we're gonna make a movie, and he has songs when he talks about his Molly song. It's really about me.
Yeah,
you guys, that's gonna be a video, music video. Oh, that song is epic, and there's more. The first time when we first started dating, there was a great song that. Yeah, you'll have to sing and.
No, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is I did not shave or cut my hair for 3 months before I shot this thing. And I almost didn't go because it was a non-paying thing, but I committed myself to doing it, and I had a lot going on. And I went on set looking like I'd been woke up in a dumpster. And she walked in the room and just lit the whole room up and was like doing her thing. And I knew there was something. She was so into her work, man. She's an artist, man. The makeup artists are rock, man. They're part of the whole. Without them, man,
you can't do it without them.
No, it doesn't look as good. Sound guy and the makeup guy and wardrobe. The unsung heroes of film.
My favorite time on set, or some of my favorite times on set, is just sitting in makeup and hair. Like getting to the last movie I did was a short called Enzo. And shout out to Melissa. She's a fantastic makeup artist. But yeah, just sitting down and talking with her, and it was a ton of fun. And shout out to Brian from Righteous Gemstones. He's one of our favorite, awesome guy to talk to. So yeah, it's best time of the day is when you're in hair and makeup.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we put this next little bit in some of the podcasts and things we talk about, and we'd be remiss because Charleston is such a wonderful place for food. But I was so impressed with the food that you get on set for Gemstones. Was it similar for Mr. Mercedes? And what is sort of like, no, oh my God, yes, here it comes.
Oh, wait, that's light.
No,
30
Mr.
minutes of
Mercedes,
joking.
I'm not gonna trash it, but Danny and those guys over there at Rough House, man, they treat you right. And I guess that might be the difference between an HBO production and the AT&T. It wasn't AT&T. I forget what was there a channel called Access that went out of?
It was something like that. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
switching hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually remember what studio shoots Mr. Mercedes.
But it was cool. You know, the cool thing about that it was in the old Gore Manufacturing Company that I spent the summer of my 18th year before I went to college, sweating my balls off every day. And I went back in there, and I was like, it was surreal. It was like, you could just feel the ghost of all those poor oppressed workers in that place. It was weird.
So my final question, and I'll leave Dustin his is so you've done, Mr. Mercedes, of course, all these other short films, and been a musician, of course, and done the Righteous Gemstones. Is there a genre of film that you'd like to pursue, whether it's action or horror or something that you've not done yet that you would love to be your next role?
I think I would do well in a dark comedy,
Yes.
Coen Brothers type movie, or a Western. I can play the bad guy.
Being the bad guy in a Western would be way up there on my list of awesome things to be in. That's a good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, so Western is the one thing there's a bunch of stuff I've yet to do, but Western is definitely one of those things I've yet to do anything in, and I would love to be it direct a Western, star in a Western. Yeah, that's one of my favorite genres of film. That would be amazing. So Fleming, what now that you've experienced it all, who's somebody that you want to work with now?
Who would I want to work with now? I would shoot, if I got an opportunity to work with Jack Bender or anybody, you just never know. I hate to say that, but the name anybody, but I want to absorb as much as I can from people who, are making stuff that's great. Billy Bob Thornton, I guess, if I had to pick.
Oh yeah,
that's who I'd pick. Billy Bob. I tried to get, and I love being around Walton Goggins, man. He's just got an energy about him that makes you want to fucking laugh. But
oh yeah,
yeah. Danny McBride. The first time I saw Danny McBride was in that Ben Stiller movie, where they're in Hawaii for the wedding or something. I forget the name of it, but I swear he reminded me of one of my cousins who's from like Laurinburg, North Carolina. So it kind of makes sense.
It does. Danny's from North Carolina, so yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know that now. It's like I didn't know anything about Danny McBride at the time, but it was like I said, God, he's playing my cousin perfect.
Oh, God.
my redneck cousin from Laurinburg.
Yeah, I can attest. I'm from the mountains of Western North Carolina and Redneckville, and that's dang near perfect. I think it was called Drill Bit Taylor. I think was one of that. Maybe that was what that was called. That's so great. I would love to have Danny on the show. That's like we reach out, right? We want everyone from makeup to grips to PAs to actors. But if we can land Danny McBride, holy crap, that'd be cool.
Oh, you will one day. I've seen him do stuff that's like this. He did it with a little 14-year-old kid, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, y'all are on the right track, man. And let's get together.
We love
real life.
What's that? Show me that hat. I love that hat. What you got there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wear hats for music, but with acting, I like going bald because they can see my face.
That's smart.
So this is the before side.
That's before.
And then turn. After makeup. Well, you're turning like way too much. But
No, we could tell. I mean, that's
that was like,
really cool.
Oh, all right. Well, I did that like about a minute. But
Yeah.
yeah, put the hat on, rocks.
All right. Well, anyway, you guys rock, keep rocking and doing what you're doing. Let's get together in real life. And
Absolutely.
I'll quit yelling like an old man. Oh, you probably could open your window and hear me without the phone, but
no, I'd love that. That'd be fantastic, Fleming. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've got some stuff, some films that we're creating down the line, and we'd love to even work with you on some of our stuff. That'd be really cool. Is there anything you're working on now or upcoming besides the cerebral palsy thing you want to push, or you talk about your concerts in your backyard? We have a lot of local folks here that watch the show. So if you want to plug any of that, go right ahead.
So I live in the historic district of Somerville, South Carolina, and I have a yard, and I have a little stage in my backyard, and of course I have tons of sound equipment and PAs. And this Sunday I'm having blues legend Robert Lighthouse from Sweden, Danielle Howe, South Carolina's finest female songwriter. She's the artist in residence out at Ondall Green. She'll be in my backyard, and it's a BYOB. Enjoy yourself, and Uber home if you have to. You know,
absolutely. And go ahead and mention the name of your Facebook page as well, so that people can follow it.
I'm under Fleming Moore, but the handle is The Real Flem Shady on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm at Fleming Moore _ Troubadour.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, it was great talking with you, and we'll hopefully have to have you back on.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Thanks for
tuning in. You stay awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.